This is the cheapest Thunderbolt 4 docking station I have found on Amazon. I have been using it for some time now, and today we are going to go over the device itself, go through a few tests, and finally go over its quirks, which some would say are cons. I'll be using this on my MSI Creator 15 gaming and video editing laptop. So starting on the back, we have 3 USB 3.0s. This is a 1000 megabyte per second gigabit Ethernet port. We have an HDMI port, which is good for 8K at 30 Hertz. We have a Thunderbolt 4 port, and this is the monitor port, the only port that will connect all these connections to the computer. I looked over that when I initially started using it and had a small issue until I finally saw the little computer on the logo. And finally, we have a 22 volt power. This can charge your laptop. It is not powerful enough to charge my laptop as it requires a lot of energy, especially when I'm editing and gaming. If you have a Chromebook or maybe a Mac, this would be enough power. Now on the front of the device, we have the power button, another Thunderbolt 4 connection, to USB 3.0s, an SD card reader and the micro SD card reader, your mic input and your headphone input. Overall, the casing is kind of nice. It does have sharp edges, so I wish they kind of softened that edge, but you're not gonna be playing with it in such a way that it should cut you. Like, you know, it's gotta be silly to cut yourself. When I had all the cords plugged into my laptop, it looked like a spider. Let's go ahead and plug everything in. USB, Ethernet cable, HDMI cable. This cable plugs into the computer and it comes with the docking station. I plug that into the monitor spot and we have the power cord. And now the last thing we need to do is press the power button. And just like that, we have all these devices connected to my laptop without any crazy cord sticking out of it. This solid state drive holds all my video games. The first test we're gonna do is transfer speeds. We're gonna do transfer speed with this connected to my laptop. Then we're gonna do it again with the same file on the Thunderbolt 4 docking station. I'm gonna transfer over this folder, one of the videos I've already edited, and it has 46.4 gigabytes. And as you can see, this is the hard drive with my video games. Okay, that took roughly 2 minutes. It was hovering most of the time around 370 megabytes per second. One thing I wanna note, this folder that holds all my video editing stuff is an NVMe. So the throttle for this transfer is gonna be this. Let's go ahead and eject this drive. Gonna unplug this, plug into the Thunderbolt docking station. Now let's transfer over again. So that took 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so it is indeed a bit slower. It averaged at around 320 megabytes per second. The next test, we will be testing frames per second. I will be using MSI Afterburner, and we are going to play Call of Duty. As you can see, we're kind of averaging 100 frames per second. Goes from like 98 to 108 frames per second, but averaging around 100 frames per second. Let's unplug this HDMI port, plug it into my laptop. Now that game, we averaged around 100 frames per second, about the same. The lows dipped a little bit lower compared to the Thunderbolt 4 connection, but we were also on a different map. Now let's go over its quirks. Whenever my computer comes from a deep sleep, and in this case, I'm gonna show it kind of right away, I'm gonna restart it. Why am I setting up my PC? Anyways, the quirk didn't happen. Basically what would happen, once it kind of recognizes my face and wants to unlock, it'll slide up and down over and over. This screen would be black and finally it would be frozen in one spot. This screen would turn on and then it'll slide all the way up and fully unlock. I'm not sure why I couldn't show it here, but that's what happens. It never causes any issues. It's just wigs out my computer just a little bit because this HDMI port is not catching up for whatever reason. The next issue, which is kind of on the same lines with the HDMI port, is that the screen will turn on, then go black, then go turn on again, then go black again, and finally turn on. A little weird. Haven't really had any major issue with that yet. And that doesn't happen nearly as much as the locking screen. And to be honest, it really doesn't bother me. And now this is the final quirk. This hard drive bay holds all my video editing files. This bay itself turns on and turns off whenever it needs to use the hard drive. With that said, whenever it's plugged in to the docking station, it would quite literally make my computer go black over and over and over, and reconnecting all these devices over and over and over. So if you have an external hard drive bay, don't plug it into the Thunderbolt for docking station. So it does have its own quirks and features, and some of them could be down to my laptop. But for the price of this device, you can't really beat it. It is the cheapest that I could find. So I would definitely recommend it. If you want to check that out, I have a link down below for your convenience. If you want to keep your laptop cool while you're gaming, then check out this video. This is Chris. Always appreciate and respect one another. I'll see you next time.